What's up? All right. I think I've got everything set up right. It's been a while since we've done this. Yeah, just looking for a chill stream. Want to hang out, answer any questions about Prism. Going to be going through some PRs and I don't know, maybe vibing through some code. I don't know what we're gonna do, but I just kind of felt like streaming and hanging out. So let's get to it. Let me know if like music sounds off or volume levels are bad. No, like I said, it's been a while since we've done this. Yeah, hey, what's up, Chris? Thanks for joining in, man. All right. All right, cool. So we've been like, I'm not sure who this is, but Mr. Cran has been very active in the repo lately for Prism, and I've been super thankful for the contributions. We've gone like back and forth on a whole bunch of stuff with like telemetry and metrics. Um, and this is like a refactor that we're going to use for telemetry and metrics. Yeah, what's up, Nuno? Yes, PHP forever, man. Oh, cool, man. Dude, I'm doing good. Actually, it's been kind of a crazy week. My wife was just in the hospital for a little while. Had to have a little bit of surgery and just came home like 2 days ago, but she's doing great now. So it's been a hectic week dealing with that, but we're in good shape. Yeah, thanks. She's doing great now. Bounced back really quick. They were expecting a kind of painful recovery, but she's been doing great. Um, Definitely like the best of the best outcome for the situation we could have had. So thank you. So yeah, talking about telemetry, right? Um, we've been coming out like going back and forth with like a few different ways of doing it. We kind of started with a decorator pattern, but I kind of wanted to like try to leverage Laravel events so that it's a little bit more flexible. So we've been kind of going back and forth on this, and this is kind of a refactor that's going to empower us to do some cool stuff with middleware in the Laravel HTTP client. So this is kind of like a pre-refactor for all of that. But I think it's a great optimization all the way around. Um, Great, cool, and like Pushpack, massive shout out, huge contributor to Prism. Looks like he's got his eyes on it too. So we'll just like skim through this. Actually, like I've already reviewed it, but we can just kind of review it together a little bit. I think would be fun. Yeah, I will do, man. Thank you, Travis. What's up, man? Yeah, thanks, dude. Cool. So yeah, the way that this PR works, right? Turn this down a little bit. Maybe that's a little better. All right. So we are going to have a trait that like initializes the base client where we can pass in request and response middleware, and then we can kind of capture uh, events inside of the request and the response, and then we can like emit those as events, and then like listen to those events and like tie them all together into these like traces. And it looks like we also have we get the universal throw. So this is something that I know is definitely inconsistent across the code base right now, is actually throwing the HTTP exceptions. Some providers had that implemented, some didn't, and it looks like there was an issue where like we didn't have visibility. It was like in this one, like 419. Um, Gemini streaming had an issue, and we didn't know like what the problem was because the stream was just coming up empty. But there was really these exceptions happening behind the scenes because we weren't like throwing on the HTTP exceptions. So that kind of like gets universally handled here, which is fantastic. So we just kind of return this like base client, and then providers can use this client and like extend it however they need, like or however they see fit. Um, so let's see, get some universal exception handling, which is pretty nice. So pending request, we defer to provider to handle the exceptions. Check this out. Yeah, so we actually do wrap them. Um, so we're deferring to like the provider to handle the exception because uh, with like the providers, there's like different exceptions that we need to handle based on like that exception happening. Like if it was a 429, right? Like we need to uh, we know we need to like handle rate limiting in a certain way for each provider. So this is really deferring to like the Anthropic provider or the AI like Open AI provider or Olama provider to then like handle that exception. Yeah, what's up, Pushpack? Yeah, I think this is like a super solid PR. I think we're just kind of like stepping through it a little bit on the stream, but I think this is like a good and like a really nice refactor. And so we get this like one of the cool things I thought about this was that there's this kind of like generic handles request exceptions, and so for like streams and stuff, this is great where we kind of just get this generic handling of like 429s. We do like a rate limiting exception, um, but uh, this is like kind of use as needed because when we get into like let's look at like Anthropic, right? We're going to handle the request exceptions different here because we have a lot more information about rate limits. So we want to be able to like process that specific rate limiting information and give that back to the user. Yep. Yeah, we can handle it specifically for each provider independently, or we can kind of get like use that trait, um, use this handles request exceptions trait, and just kind of automatically get that get that like base level handling because that's not always available for everyone and not every provider needs that this kind of like explicit handling because they probably like aren't returning more rich information. Like Anthropic's great about that. They always include like such detailed information for everything that we can get really specific about like when you should retry again, what your rate limits are. um, yeah, super solid stuff there. And see, this is where we are extending that base client to then like continue to customize it. So we're adding in all of the like Anthropic specific headers. We wrap the retry information in there. We set the base URL for the client. So we get that extensibility still here as well. Oh, this is for Anthropic. Yeah, I looked through all of this stuff. What else was interesting? It touches like all the providers because if we look at sorry, I'm just getting a little lost in the PR, which is fine. Um, Yeah, I already looked at this earlier today. I don't want to spend too much time going through it. I was just trying to call out like interesting things. Yeah, we do have an OLAMA provider. Yeah, so right now, provider wise, we support, is it on this page? It is. We support like Anthropic. We're not quite ready for Azure Open AI. Like, I'm working on it. We've got some Bedrock support for Anthropic Cohere and the Converse API, DeepSeek, Gemini, Grok, Maestro, Olama, OpenAI, Voyage, XAI. So we got like pretty serious amount of provider support. We got this like nice little compatibility grid here. All right, sick. All right, let's just do this. All right, what else do we want to work on? Yo, hello. What's up? All right, let's take a look at. Um, yeah, and so we were just talking about the telemetry, right? So this adds the events. Like this PR is like pretty sick too. Um, like I said, there's been like I go to this and look at. I've had like I've iterated so much on the telemetry. I guess I like started with a decorator pattern, then tried events because I really wanted to use events, and then I was just getting kind of like lost in the sauce on it. Um, and so I like went back to a decorator approach, and Mr. Cran here is like I think got events pretty dialed in, and he's making use of Laravel context to keep track of all the tracing, um, like all the trace IDs and everything, so you get like the proper inheritance, which is pretty sick. Oh yeah, definitely see where that's going. Yes, yeah, having Olama running on phones and having Prism be able to work with Olama, uh, yeah, it's pretty sick, man. So talking telemetry, um, once we get that other, once we refactor to events, I have to go back and refactor this package, but um, I want to support open telemetry, which is like pretty sick. I don't have it up and running, and it's going to take too much effort to like fiddle around with it. But I had open telemetry working with an iteration of telemetry, and it's super sick being able to plug it into like UIs like Jaeger and see like all the spans and everything. I think I had a couple like uh, let's see. I know I've talked about it. Yeah, here we go. So, like being able to have a burn down of like what's happening behind the scenes is like huge in having an understanding, especially when you start getting into multiple agents working together and each of them calling tools and doing different things, and like multi-iterative turns over like multiple tool calls. Uh, Being able to see what's actually happening and like where time is being spent is I think really important to have this kind of visibility. Super cool, bud. Uh, just my son popping through real quick. Um, so yeah, you can see here we have like the whole request, and then we break down like the provider HTTP request, the tool execution, both the tool calls, and then like sending that like the tool result back to the LLM. We see that as like another provider request. So working on this, hopefully gonna get that in before Laracon. That'd be sick. All right. So let's go back here. Let's do this. Let's open this up for review. Oh, no. That's unfortunate. All right, let's go resolve some conflicts. Super fun. Ooh. Yeah, we were using Claude Code earlier. For sure we were. Absolutely. I can swear on stream. This is fine. Uh, yeah, Cloud Code is sick. Very into it. All right, let's fix some conflicts. Let's clean up our windows. Not too much going on. See, here's some secret sauce of Cloud Code. Yeah, I know what this is conflicting on. It should be some easy resolutions. So here's some secret sauce with Claude. Plan mode first, right? So um, I talk about this on Slightly Caffeinated with Chris Kamir, our podcast. Um, Plan mode first. I use like Claude Opus. So that's how I did all of this. This was this image stuff that we're working on right now was pair programmed with me and Claude, and we did plan mode first with Opus, like the Opus model. Then we switched back to Sonnet, and we wrote the project plan down. So if we need to like go back and rework some things, like we have the whole project plan. Um, that's the wrong syntax. Pager, right? Yeah. So here's our plan, right? We have like the core implementation of like the things we're doing, the OpenAI provider integration because they're the only one we're supporting for image, like what the API design is supposed to be. So we planned out all of this stuff first before I let Claude like loose on it. So it has like a very structured plan of like what we want to do. And it came back and then like edited this as it like went along to make sure that we followed all the plan and everything. But we all of Prism is very API design driven, like very similar to like documentation driven approach. Like I design the API first and like what I want it to look like, and then we go back and then fulfill those contracts. So before I let Claude like go off and do any of the coding, we take a second and like make sure we nail down that API and like exactly what I'm looking for, what I want it to do. Because remember, this is just like a probability machine, and we're trying to give us the most like favorable probability of like getting what we want out of it. So we're going to do a lot of guidance. Um, yeah, so that's just kind of like an overview. All right, we're done with that. So let's fetch. So we're gonna do. How do we want to do this? Let's see how bad they are. Ooh. You know what we're gonna do? I'm feeling lazy. It's been a long week. We just let it. We're just gonna let it work. Yeah, let's just go. Auto accept edits. Let's just have at it. Good. I know this is really exciting content, right? Like, let's watch. Oh, it was a disaster. Oh no. Maybe not so much of a disaster. Sick. So image generation was like super straightforward though too. So this was like a perfect task for Claude to implement. Um, but we're just gonna review everything because I don't I don't trust it. So I think I reviewed everything before I sent it up because I wasn't gonna ship like unreviewed AI code to a repo. I don't know. Feel weird about that. Okay. we're just gonna leave it blank because oh my gosh, I'm gonna have this song stuck in my head for days. Oh no, it's such an earworm for me. Okay, let's see. We got docs, right? We add image generation. That sounds good. You know, if we're going to review the docs, let's use our docs are hosted with Savala, and they do a great job of giving me preview branches of our docs. So let's just go check this out. We have image generation. All right, so image, we go to prompt, we call generate. First image, we can get the image URL. Super simple. Currently only support. I didn't write these docs either, so we're also relying on Claude for that. We're giving it a chance to like run itself for a whole feature. I want to see how well it worked. Yep. I mean, I just no other providers support it, so at least providers that we support right now. So all right, simple generation. If it has a URL, we get the URL. Great. All right, so here's where it feels like cheating a little bit because we're just like grab bagging options. Like you got to go look at the provider documentation and like figure out what all the options are to send. Um, Testing, you know, fake image for testing. Check provider documentation. So we go to OpenAI, image generation. See, I don't really like having this level. Like, I love having this level of documentation in our docs, where like we don't have to send you to OpenAI. Like, we just have that documentation here. But I also don't want to be like responsible for updating it, like, keeping it up to date, because like this stuff changes so fast and so often. We're gonna check socials real quick because I can't help myself. All right, Dolly 3 options, Dolly 2 options. Ooh, transparent background. Yeah, if y'all don't know about transparent background image generation, it's game changer. Did we solve world peace yet? No, we're on our way. I think we're gonna get Claude to solve world peace for us at this point. All right. We support image. All right. I guess this is fine. This is like so provider specific. I don't know if I want to like expose that because it is like just so provider specific. I don't know. Yeah, we'll ask Claude best answer. Yeah. Claude, solve world peace, please. All right. I think this is pretty solid. I mean, ultimately, we need to like go make sure this works. So we'll do some image generation. Oh, so with provider options has always been kind of a bit of a grab bag for us to like pass provider specific options. And so I think it's fine to use provider options and like not introduce like a new construct. And like the thing that I was worried about, I guess we gotta come back here. Um, was this like base 64 JSON? Like I'm supporting it, but I don't have a feeling other image generation providers are going to support that. And so I don't know if I want to like leak that implementation detail through from OpenAI. Um, because like I don't know who else has image generation APIs, but like I don't know if I want to like leak that provider specific thing all the way through to like the value object. But I guess we can. All right, you have at that. Yeah. Hello. Welcome. We're letting Claude work on stuff while we review things. Yeah, I think we just support image URLs for right now. Um, ooh, revised prompt is another one. Um, uh, I kind of just want to support URLs because, like, are any other providers going to have an LLM like also revise a prompt? I think that's like a Dolly 3 thing that like automatically revises the prompt to make it better. Um, hmm. All right, let's just let it loose on this. Yeah, I don't know. I know. So like OpenAI's got three. Sorry, I'm just reading this output. Um, OpenAI's got three different image generation models. They've got Dolly 2, 3, and then like GPT 1 or something like that. Oops. Uh, I have them here. Yeah, GPT Image 1, which is like their latest one. Which I don't know why I wouldn't see using any of the other two. Why? See, I don't want to list key features either. I don't want to be responsible for this information. Um, all right, let's get these key features when this is working. Oh my gosh, I cannot type. I get on stream and I can't type. Oh. So this is fun. You get blinded. When Claude runs PHP stand and it's successful, it really lets you know that like it was successful. Um, you can't read anything. All right, do the docs. All right. Cool. We got rid of the key features piece. Like I said, I just want to be responsible for that. I really don't even. I don't want to be responsible for this stuff either. But I was explicit in the provider for passing these options. I was explicit about like calling specific keys based on the model that you're using. Um, so it's not completely grab bag, but I kind of wish I would have made it that way. Oh well. All right. Cannot type. Oh my gosh. More image generation providers in the future. I'm such a caveman when I type, I swear. Hmm. All right. Sorry, tinkering with the stream. All right. Uh, Direction for OpenAI. This from the traditional approach to the future. All right, sick. Docs. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, we'll just stick with prompt. Hmm. Okay. Sorry. I know, super amusing, tinkering with the stream and everything. But all right, let's take a look. A response. You have first image, images, image count. It's fine by me. I don't need the response builder, but okay. It does follow the pattern. Pending request. Anthropic doesn't support it, 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 doesn't support it. Image handler. Okay. I didn't know how I felt about that. Um, build the client. That looks right. Doesn't support. Doesn't support it. All right, I dig this way it looks. I think it looks good, but now we need to test it out. So let's have some fun, I think. Okay, let's do. Oops. Oh, we don't want to do that. We want to do. Oh my gosh, my brain is dying. I want to just go futuristic. Um, right? Um, all right, let's see what we got here. All right, we're gonna copy that. We're gonna come over here. We're gonna go to playground, and we're gonna say, I do not know what we were working on here. What is this? Feed images. it. All right, let's do. I guess we need to return that, don't we? All right, let's. Ooh. So we're just vibing and coding. Not much to talk about. Let's see. So I realized at one point that we were using with prompt elsewhere in Prism, and I like want to keep that API consistent. And I was just gonna let it slip because I didn't feel like updating the docs and being lazy, but I can't really ignore it. So Go back to our. I'm gonna get back to thinking out loud because we're just sitting here listening to music while I'm typing, and this is not very fun live stream. All right, so now we're back to our playground project because what was happening before is like I didn't explicitly support view instances as like prompts, which I do with the with prompt method in like text generation or structured output. So I wanted to make sure that we supported that here. This is why we're manually testing with it too before we like merge it, so we can kind of get out of some of this. So it was we started in prompts. Image generation test. Oh my gosh. All right, so we're returning our view, and then we're going to come up here. Just going to call prism. Yeah, there we go. All right, it wasn't auto-completing, so I had to figure out what was going on there. All right, call it that, and then we'll call this, say, spin. Oh, jeez. Oh, what is going on? Let's add my OpenAI API key. It wasn't a test. Duh. Let's run. Oh, ha ha. Wow. Let's OpenAI. I'm going to use GPT. GPT image one. Not my provider. Dude, learn how to use your own library. Oh my goodness. Oh. Oh, jeez. How is my org not verified? Um, Here, let me. Did you just do this while I work on that real quick? Um, Super fun. Oh my goodness. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Sorry, I had to go verify my identity with OpenAI, I guess. All right, let's try this again. Hmm, but I did. I just did. OpenAI, I think cache is super heavy. Let's try this with. Um, okay, it attempted it, but this is Dolly 3, so that's about as good as you got. Um, but I mean, it's accurate scene, and it worked, right? Images 0, it had a revised prompt because it was Dolly 3. Do we have access to GPT image 1 yet? This would be great if we did. We are verified. Hmm. Cool. Um, it's working though. All right, sick. Let's try. Let's try this. All right. So what we're doing now? Sorry, I'm just in it, I guess. This was bad. let's increase our timeout. I'm not digging this music. Let's see what else we got. I know what we can listen to. Sick. All right. Let's see what we got here. Got some stuff right. I mean, this is definitely the prompt we gave it. Looks like the options worked. Looks like client options worked. Vivid HD, great. Dimensions looked about right. Um, Sick. All right. No, that's not what we want to do. There we go. Let's go back and take a look at this PR. I think I might hop off after this. We'll see. Maybe another stream tomorrow. I don't know. Is there? This is the big thing I wanted to work on. I got other stuff I need to work on, but I don't feel like live streaming that. Let's get this merged in now. Hey, Travis. Yeah, thanks, man. It's really, uh, it's really been a labor of love. I absolutely will, man. Absolutely will. It's been a labor of love. I've been having a blast working on it, keeping it moving. We can close this out, and actually, let's do it this way. Let's cut a release. Sick. So, cut a new release. Let's grab the URL for that. We'll go back to here. Let's just clean this up a little bit. Damn. Just grab a screenshot. Save it here. All right, and let's go to. There we go, image generation. Sick. Hey, ship the feature. Pretty stoked about this one. Another big step forward in what we offer in Prism. So, um, yeah, sick. I wonder if I can get into this now. Nope. But, but, oh, hey, is it actually gonna work now? Yeah, it's crazy. Whenever you like add credits, or like I have to add credits through OpenAI's like console and platform. Like, let's say I run out of credits and I have to go like replenish them, and they shut off my API access. It always takes like forever for that to update, and I can start making requests again. Anthropic is like instantaneous. It's fantastic. Uh-oh. We got nothing. Super dope. All right. Let's see what happened. I think this is going to time out. I don't know what's going on. Hey, what do we got here? What? Ah. Mm. Super fun. Um, all right, so basically, what is happening now is GPT image one gives us the like base 64 encoded image, and we're only giving URLs because I'm smart like that. Um, yeah. All right, so I'm gonna have to go tinker around with that, but I am whooped. We've been going for an hour and a half, so I'm gonna dip out and go eat some food and then get back to this. But yeah, thanks for hanging out, everybody. We'll do this again soon, I think.